Humanism and Definitions. Dictionary.com defines religion this way. Quote, a set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe, especially when considered as the creation of a superhuman agency or agencies, usually involving devotional and ritual observances, and often containing a moral code governing the conduct of human affairs. End quote. Here are the elements of that definition. A set of beliefs, cause, nature, and purpose of the universe, superhuman agency, devotional and ritual observances, moral code governing human action. Now, here's my shot at a definition of religion. Religion is a set of shared practices and ethical commitments grounded in a worldview. Religion is a set of shared practices and ethical commitments grounded in a worldview. Now, by shared practices, I mean everything from postures, bowing, sitting, standing, and on, to ritual, which I define as repetition within bounded space. Sure, anybody can and probably will create practices of their very own, but these are subjective. They don't translate to other people. It's that devotional and ritual observance in the dictionary.com definition. Ethical commitments is the easy part of the definition. The most common assumption about any religion is that it has ethical commitments, a, quote, moral code governing the conduct of human affairs, end quote. Again, those who are shared outside of subjective reality, for example, if you're ethically committed to sharpening pencils once and only once, then burning them with kerosene, okay, I can get that as a practice of or a commitment, but, I don't actually understand it. That's subjective. On the other hand, if you practice nonviolence, you could perhaps persuade me to follow your commitment. Nonviolence is an intersubjective commitment, outside of the subjective. Practices and commitments imply a worldview, that cause, nature, and purpose of the universe that Dictionary.com mentions. And a worldview implies practices and commitments. If I'm convinced, for example, that the universe is saved from utter annihilation only because I light a candle every 60 days after abstaining from peanut butter for 48 hours, I just might decide it's my duty to do that, to save the universe. Similarly, if I don't believe in a God that intervenes in human affairs, my worldview might require me to act as if only human beings can solve the world's problems. Now notice the superhuman agency or agencies part of that dictionary.com definition. More and more definitions of religion are leaving out the term supernatural and using the term superhuman. Supernatural implies outside and above the natural, observable cosmos. Superhuman, on the other hand, implies some sort of management above the human pay grade, which leaves a whole lot to the imagination. For humanists, the laws of the universe are indeed superhuman. No debate there. As a matter of fact, fans of theology will notice that the definition of God by mid-20th century theologian Paul Tillich has at last entered the mainstream culture. But I prefer my definition. Religion is a set of shared practices and ethical commitments grounded in a worldview. Worldview can imply gods of various sorts. Worldview can imply no gods at all and only the observable laws of the universe. Thanks for listening. You can find much more about humanism and what's happening at First Unitarian Society in Minneapolis by visiting our website at firstunitarian.org.